All right, welcome everybody. I'm very happy that we're going to have a very fun lecture continuing on the topic, the theme that we've been working on in a fun nonlinear way over the past weeks, dealing with the idea of science unshackled, the concept that there isn't just this one thing called science that everybody agrees upon. Um, that's not the case. We've been given a falsity, a falsehood by this story that there is one thing called science. There are different ideas of what science is throughout history. However, one method of thinking works very well at making discoveries. Many other methods calling themselves science don't work very well when you use those methods to make discoveries of God's creation and apply those for making life better for people, more insightful. But there is a method. There is a method in the quality of the human reason within this process, within the universe that we were created into, and that has certain resonances with that said universe that allows for discoveries to even happen in the first place, is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing, and the fact that this dichotomy has been created over, especially the last century, um, between logic and feelings. You could be an artist and be free of using reason, or you can be a scientist and be free of using your emotions. But you have to pick one extreme. You could be an engineer and use mathematics, but don't be contaminated by aesthetics, beauty. That's irrelevant. It's meaningless. Or if you want to be an artist, you can't be contaminated with ideas of logic, of reason. That's just it's impure. It's suppress. It's tyranny to the emotions. That's a false dichotomy. And what I loved about Fehmi Krasniqi's work, well, I was I was introduced by Quan originally to this documentary called K-19 on the Great Pyramid. And I didn't want to watch it at first. I spent some time saying, I've watched so many of these things. I'm exhausted. I can't I can't do it. And I sort of it took me a while to finally give it a chance and sit down, and Cynthia and I, we spent 3 hours just really in awe that for the first time a coherent, the most competent approach to explaining things that I had never found had been addressed properly, regardless whether you're from the school, the mainstream school that says everything was done by slave labor, brute force, X amount of years ago, and or if you're from the opposing school that posits aliens and Atlanteans and other things. it, Nothing came even a fraction close to addressing in a reasonable, comprehensive manner what Femi was able to do in his research that tied not just the pyramids and a solid hypothesis, a very good one regarding their construction, but also the quality of discoveries which these people must have made, and also looked at the international dynamics. What was the world like? What type of world must have existed such that this civilization and this international um, gr network of a global maritime transoceanic civilization must have been able to exist and have intercourse with each other, stretching from the Americas to Asia, Africa, and beyond. I just loved it, and I hope a lot of people here have had a chance to look at that. Femi, uh, also, I was really happy that we had a series of interviews, maybe not so much interviews, but discussions where Femi was able to introduce some very important ideas regarding what is the metric system, what are these things we take for granted when we use meters, feet, all of these things. And that's been very mystified for a lot of people. So I think that these presentations, the series that some of us here in this Zoom meeting have watched, did a wonderful job at demystifying that. And I asked Femi if he'd like to give a presentation on whatever he'd like, and dealing with this whole question and its metaphysical implications. So I was overjoyed that the answer was yes. And the topic today that Femi selected is understanding God, creator, architect, and the definitive answer by science, which is a very provocative answer. It doesn't mean that one has to believe in everything that you're going to hear, but what it is it's a potent conversation about reality. And that's what we really need in our society. This is what's been banned. And this idea of bridging this question of spirituality, science in a healthy, natural way is really what we want to do with the Rising Tide Foundation. So again, Fehmi, thank you so much for doing this. Like usual, we're going to listen and just take in your presentation for however long you want to deliver your main course. And then afterwards, I ask people to leave your names in the chat box, and I'll call upon you in order, or just write down your question if you'd like me to ask it, and I'll pose it to Fehmi after the main presentation is finished. So with that, the stage, good sir, is all yours.
Did you hear me correctly? The microphone?
Yes, very good.
It's a good sound?
Yes.
All right. So I'll share. I'll try. Where is the share? Yes. Share up. What? Just a moment. I'll share my screen. Up. So you can stop me and make me question if you want. Up, just a moment. I'll put here this. So
we don't see your screen yet.
Yes, just a moment.
Okay.
Up. All right. Well, did you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So so I will not make philosophy, esotericism, poetry, and the second thing is that the people, there is no doubt about my sincerity. All right. Donc, because you will understand later why nobody cannot doubt about my sincerity. But there is one thing, the sincerity, and the other thing, two things different, the sincerity and the fact, the real, how the science run, etc., etc. So there are two things separately. Up, just a moment. All right. So we have many questions. Did the God exist? When we have the answer of this, we have another question: is that God is good or bad? When I say God, I means the someone said God as the religion. The others said the great architect. Some others said the creator, the entity. So, did he's good or bad? The other fundamental question is why the humans are there. Why we are here in this planet, which is the goal. Does God communicate with us, or are we left to ourselves? We have no body, we have no one to guide us in our destiny, and so we are alone. We are left to ourselves. The other question is, where is humanity headed? The future. What about where we are going? So there are many fundamental questions, but to understand this question, we have to look the past. So this is like an axiom, like a mathematic axiom. I said, he who doesn't not want believe in the existence of the entity God creator, great architect, does not believe in mathematics. So that's I said. The goal for every human is a beautiful life and enjoying my creation. This is the word of this entity God creator architect. So the next question is, this God did exist. Did we have a proof accepted by all humans that this God exists? Right? Every human need a proof. We are 7 billion. Every human need a proof to accept this God. So now we are going directly at the, we'll leave this at the by side, and we are going directly at the hardest things. Up. So, as you read, sorry, up. As you have read in physics today, we have to see this part very in depth and detail, because it's a part very important. Here we are in physics and mathematics and chemistry, and so we have here the International System of Units. I don't know your comprehension about your level of physics and mathematics. All right, but here, just I take my pen. Wait a moment. Where is my pen? Yes, it's here. So this is in the right side. You have the physics, the International System of Units. And the other side, it's the physics, the elementary elements of physics and units that I proposed what they are. So when you see here you have the meter. All right, this is the most important subject, and if we are not agree with this, it's we cannot go further. So here we are in mathematics and physics. So here you have the unit, the metric system. Here you have the second, the unit of physics, the second, the kilogram, the mole, candela, Kelvin, and ampere. So as you see here, we can see that the second, the meter comes from the second. You can see the row here. Up. And the kilogram comes from second, from the unit the second. And so the candela comes from the second. So as you see, the arrow here, nobody understands what's happened here. All right. So this is it's not correct. All right. It's not correct. We can see here in depth and detail. So the correct here is this one. So the meter is in the center, of the discovery of the humanity. We'll see later who has made this discovery. So we have the central unity, the universal unity, the centimeter. Then from the centimeter, we have the second, the unit of time, the second, and then we have the kilogram, the unit of height, and all the other units are constructed over the unit, the centimeter. And then, for example, candela is constructed, it's the luminance of the centimeter of a surface. All these units are constructed by a longer distance in a surface and in volume. So we have the centimeter, how we say the centimeter carré, square, a centimeter square, and centimeter cubic. And all the other units, we have Newton here. It is constructed, so 1 Newton, it's the acceleration of 1 kilogram multiplied by meter by second. All right. And then we have the joule unit. The joule is constructed by 1 kilogram multiplied by 1 meter square and multiplied by seconds in power minus 2. And then we have the watt, the unit watt. Is the same for the hertz. It's the same for the hertz, the unit of frequency. The same things for the hertz. So the hertz is the acceleration of 1 second. So all these units are constructed over the central unity that we called today centimeter. And then 1 centimeter is multiplied by 10, we have 1 decimeter. And again by 10, we have a decimal system. So we have 1 centimeter multiplied by 10 and by 10. And this, we call this today a meter. So it's the same things for the Celsius. It's graduated in the centimeter. The kilogram is 1 kilogram, as I said in the movie, is the volume of 10 decimeter cube filled with water. And so we have 1 kilogram. So this is the right construction of our physics today. So what is the importance of the meter? So in France, we said the meter, traduction in France, le maître, we translate the master. It's a joke. It's a joke of words. So this is our world with the meter in a decimal system unit. This is the world today. And if we don't have the meter, we go back in time, or all our economy collapsed in a time, I said 2 or 6 months maybe. And so we don't have the meter, this unit. We are back in time. We go back in time. We are in a primitive era. So this is the greatest discovery that humanity has made. All right, that humanity has made in all over time, and thanks to meter, we are here today with this development, with this economy, etc., with all this invention, etc. So the next question is, what about the pyramid, Egypt? with physics. What's happened? What's happened here? What is the link between pyramid and the international system of unit, the physics, etc.? The Egypt, formerly Kemet, it was called Kemet. Traduction in Kemet, it is the black land, and it's not the black land for the Nile, the lemon of the Nile, the ground of the Nile, but it was called black land for the people who lived in this country. So, what is the link between this development and the link between the pyramid, the Kemet Egypt? Matt, if you want, I can. Do you want to continue, or I can get some question?
You are the maestro. If you want to stop and ask questions, now is the time. If people, everyone should know that they are automatically on mute. So if you do have a question that you want to throw out there right now,
Or
it's your call.
if you want, you can write the question in a notepad.
Yeah.
If you have question, you can write in a notepad, so you didn't forget. You make like Egyptian. So Egyptian, everything they had in their head, they write in papyrus, so we don't forget. So let's go. So where this meter comes, this important, the greatest important come. So I put here the image of the pharaoh Djoser. This is, you have the pyramid of Giza. Here you have the pyramid of Giza. So this is the conversation rule 3 cross product. It's something very basic. You have learned this in school. So I have an egg. I will change with 3 eggs. All right. And then how many? I have 5 eggs. How many apples? I will exchange with 5 eggs. All right. So I'll make the multiplication 5 by 3. All right. 5 eggs by 3 apples divided by 1 egg. So we will exchange this with 50 apples. All right. This is the conversion rule of 3 production, of cross production. You have to understand that the apple exists. It's not something that doesn't exist. The eggs exist too. This is very important. These 2 production exist. All right. So where the metric system comes. So when you read in Wikipedia, at the internet, etc. So you read that the system, this is the historic of meter, all right? And the meter, it comes from the revolution. It is a discovery of French Revolution. Or in fact, we have a problem here that the meter doesn't discovered by France, but it came from Egypt. So the meter appeared here in 1799, 80, or 70 officially, or 55. That's the history of the meter. At this time, the meter, it was not public. All right, it was not public, but we'll see this later. For the moment, at the official history, we have this, that the meter is a portion of meridian. I will show this. So So the meter, it is a portion of the arc of meridian, and this meter was divided by 10 million, and so we have the meter. But we have a problem here. Because up I saw the original document. So this is a document in French, the original document. You can download this at BMF Gallica in the internet. And this is the old document, around 700 page, how the meter was discovered by French. All right, this is the first. It is in French by Delambre and Méchan. And so Delambre and Méchan, they measured the distance from a segment of distance from Barcelona to Dunkirk. They found up just a moment, where is up they found, all right, here you have the old document. And what is it? It's important here that they found that the meridian, it was measured in toise, because the meter doesn't exist here yet, and the meridian, it was measured with a unit called toise, with a standard called toise, and this standard, this distance, the meridian, it is 5,130,740 toises. This is the standard that the meridian was measured. So this meridian here, the meridian, it is 5,130,740 toises. So the meter doesn't not yet exist. The meter doesn't exist. And then they put up this word and the meter, 443,000 lines, etc. The problem is that the meter, we cannot make a conversation. All right. So how we can make the conversion, the exchange from toise to meter, the rule of three. So in 1775, we cannot exchange from toise to meter because the meter doesn't exist yet. All right. So the meter is not discovered. It's not discovered in by France in 1799, but it was discovered. It came long before. So this idea that the meter comes from the French Revolution, it is a discovery of French Revolution. It's not true. The meter is it comes from the Egypt, as we'll see further. So I will show you a little movie that you understand that this is not correct. It is in English. Just a moment. Up 47. So you can hear it in English and in French. It's a documentary diffused and broadcast in Arte, TV channel in France. 47. So this is Ken Adler, who writes the book about the discovery of the meter by France. Listen carefully.
Bonaparte mesurait la circonférence exacte de la planète sous la Révolution française et arrêter la longueur définitive du mètre. Mais ce faisant, il découvre que la courbure de la Terre n'est pas régulière.
They discovered the Lambre Machine. You can hear in English behind. The discover machine discovered that the curvature of the Earth it's not the same in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in America. It's not the same. The curvature of the Earth.
La courbure est différente à Paris, elle est différente à Milan, elle est différente à Boston. Autrement dit, la Terre n'est pas une sphère parfaite.
The Earth it's not a perfect sphere
sur laquelle on pourrait baser une mesure universelle.
All right, I re-put here you to listen.
La Terre n'est pas une sphère parfaite sur laquelle on pourrait baser une mesure universelle.
So there is no perfect Earth out there on which to base the meter. All right. So the discovery, the author of the book of Discovery Meter, he said himself that there is no perfect Earth to base the meter. All right. We understand that the system, the metric system, this doesn't come from this, and we saw that we cannot make exchange from toise to meter because a meter it doesn't exist in 1799. All right, so for example here with the eggs, here we have the meter, this is the meter. All right, this is the toys, the unit toys. All right, we have measured, they measured the arc of meridian, the meridian with toys, standard. The meter doesn't exist, right? The meter doesn't exist. So we cannot make exchange with a unit, all right? This is the meter. We cannot make exchange with a unit that doesn't exist, all right? So, for example, today we have the meter, and I said I want to exchange the meter with Rambatumba, for example. What is this unit, Rambatumba? You never heard this unit; it doesn't exist. And I said this exists in my mind. All right, but this unit, this standard, doesn't exist. So it's the same. It's the same things. The exchange with euro or dollar, the euro exists, the dollar exists. But when someone comes with another unit, with another device that you never heard, that doesn't exist, you cannot make exchange with something that doesn't exist. All right. So the meter, it doesn't come from the French Revolution. The meter comes long before the meters come in reality from Egypt. So I found the meter in 28 June of 2018. So I made a video. Sorry. So I made a video, the reconstruction of reenactment of this day, how I discovered the meter, and reenactment of the day of June 28, 2018. And so I started the creation. I started the movie in 2015. The movie Great Pyramid Key 2019. And so I was in. I've advanced very much in the movie, in the construction of the pyramid, and at the last moment, I said I have to put something new in the film, in the movie. All right. At this time, I was searching about something like millimeters, something like 6 millimeters or 7 or 8 millimeters. All right. I didn't understand how the royal qubit works with the meter, etc., pi, pi, golden number, etc. And this was at noon, and at a moment, up, I put my my hands. But what I have to find, what I have to measure, and the moment I heard like a voice, a voice that tell me uh, up. So it's happened in a second, 3-4 seconds. You can see the video at in YouTube, and for 2 or 3 seconds I see thousands or maybe million of things, because I have to measure something, how the Egyptian has found this unit, the royal qubit. All right. And at the moment, I see water, and this voice said me, take a glass and fill it with water. So I fill this with water. This voice said me, put a drop. All right, make a drop. So I make a drop and measure the diameter of the drop. All right, I measure this is in a time of seconds. Huh? All right, and the moment I said, I didn't see. I was looking for 6 millimeters or 0.06 centimeters or 7 millimeters, something like this. I don't know really what I have to search. I didn't have nothing, nothing idea. And at the moment I want to leave, I said to myself, it's something stupid. But at the last moment, this voice said me, look very carefully. And I see very carefully, and I see like two line that grow up, as I show. So don't go, look. This voice said, don't go, look carefully. All right, I look carefully, and I saw two line that grow up, and these two lines said me, this is 1 centimeter. All right. Some seconds, some second later, I saw this like a voice, like an image. I saw this. So now, Fehmi, you have 1 centimeter multiplied by 10, 1 decimeter, and you have 100. You have 1 meter, and you go. You will make the equation pi divided by 6. You have 0.42 and 36. Now you will graduate this into the meter, and this is the royal qubit. The royal qubit, the birth of royal qubit Egyptian. And later, I think about 3 weeks or maybe 1 month later that I discover the kilogram, that the kilogram is 10 by 10. And at this moment, I discover the unit, the second, that the second is graduated in the circumference of the Earth. Circumference of the Earth. So the probability to find, for a human to find this unit, this is the universal unit, a unit that doesn't change, never. This is the average of the droplet of water. In a human scale, the probability is 0. Right? You have 0.00. Even you have milliard of years of your life, you can never find this. You can never find this, even you have milliard of years of life. So this is the scene, the site of the existence of this creator. So, as I said, this was happened 2 times. This event was happened 2 times. Just a moment. Up. It's happened 2 times. The first time in Egypt, in Egypt, around 2017 before Christ, and the second time in 20 June 20. And later, as I said in this video, I discovered the unit, the kilogram, and the second. And this meter, the centimeter that I found this unit, I found this in Saqqara, all right, as I put in the movie. Donc there is 1,000 millimeters, all right, a sarcophage measured by laser, with laser. The centimeter we found in Karnak, the centimeter we found with a mathematical equation in the Great Pyramid, everywhere. We found the meter in Coriconcha in Peru, all right. So you have the temple of Coriconcha, we have a golden rectangle, we have here 1 meter, 0. This is measured in laser, and this space is in golden number. So the Egyptian has made, because this come from Egypt, has made, as we called, mathematics applied in physics. We found 1,000 millimeter in Pumapunku, Bolivia. And all these physicians, you have the greatest physician of history, they worked with the meter. And I think that no one of these scientists know the origin of the meter. And this meter comes from Egypt, and Egypt, as we called today Egypt, and the Egypt was called Kemet. So Kemet, it was in Africa. It was a tribu. They was African, and they had discovered the meter. They have discovered the mathematics, and they diffused this all around the world. They had constructed the civilization around the world. So at this moment, if you have a question, another things important before we go further. People will say it, but for me, this is by chance. This is by chance. We measured 1,000 at a stone, 1,000 millimeter there, 1,000 there. Maybe it's by chance. All right. So there is, when someone said chance, it's a chance or it's a knowledge. This is a question of mathematics. So this is a construction of the mathematics. Then we have the life today, the many discipline, many science, many profiles, and we have here. Just a moment. We have here the religious, the philosopher, the writer, poet, historian, archaeologist, biologist, astronomer, and the second stage we have physicist, chemist, and mathematic. So all our world is constructed all the universe is constructed in mathematics. So the mathematics is this, right? You have the triangle here, and the mathematics is this. So we have in mathematics trigonometry, geometry, arithmetic, logic, and algebra, etc. And till in 1913, the probability it was not included in mathematics. So we have the great mathematicians, Pascal, Gauss, Hilbert, Poincaré, and in 1930, the statistic and probability entered in mathematics, here in this triangle, by a great, as I called, the mathematician of the God. He is called Andrei Kolmogorov. So Andrei Kolmogorov entered the statistic in mathematics here in the top of the mathematics. Andrei Kolmogorov, he will elaborate, discover 3 axioms of mathematics, and so the probability, as the people called by chance, now they entered in mathematics. So we can now calculate, all right, we can now calculate mathematically if this discovery, if this measure in meter in the past are by chance or is a knowledge of Africans. So we can calculate this, all right? And the mathematics say that there is no chance, that this is by chance. This is a knowledge. The Africans, the Egyptians, the Kemet discovered the unit, the centimeter, in a decimal system, and they made all construction with this, with the meter, and so the civilization will start, and after we have all that we have today. So if you have a question at this moment.
No, I don't see questions in the chat box.
All right, let's go. So let's go.
Oh, wait, we have one question here from Kelly. If the Egyptians knew geometry and the meter, etc., where did this royal cubit come to be? What is the royal cubit? Is Kelly's question.
So the royal cubit, I'll try to find some. So the royal cubit, So the royal cubit is, so you have up just a moment. So you have the distance 1 centimeter, the diameter of the droplet. You have, for example, you have the leaf. It's an overage. You have a leaf. This is the leaf of a tree. All right. You know that all the leaf in the world, when you put here a line, a straight line, all right, and you will want to measure the overage will make this. So there is no any object that have the same length. The only that have the same length is to make droplet water perfectly round, and then you measure the overage, and all this overage, it's called it's a length that we call today 1 centimeter. So
But
I'll yes.
oh, if you want to, if you still have more to say for Kelly, but I have a question on that point as well. Just because I believe that it had more to do with the Gaussian curve.
Yes.
Okay, that's a very
Yes.
important idea because not every single droplet will always be 100%
No.
what you're
No.
saying.
Just a moment. I'll show. Wait a moment. Up. Wait a moment.
Yeah, I'll just say because this is what confused me for a while. When I tried replicating this experiment, I found that not every droplet I was creating was resulting in the exact same
Yes.
diameter. However, you explained it to me very well that it's by taking a large set and then looking at the normal or the average
Yeah.
that we find the meter or the centimeter emerging, and that's just so important.
Just a moment. Up. Where is this? Just a moment. I'll show. Oh. Where I put this? Up. Presentation. Right. Yes. We'll. So as I said, so we have the overage of the leaf. This is a document in French. All right. Donc the overage of everything in the world is variable. All right. So up. Just a moment. Wait a moment. So, meter. I'll show you some picture. Where is? So there is like a protocol, or as we can say it, protocol. Wait a moment. Picture, good. So you have to made. I have made thousand of drop of water. As you see, no one of drop of water is identically, but there are some drop of water that are very the drop of water must be around, perfectly around, and this is not, it must not have to open. All right. Where is the curve of goes? Just a moment. Mathematics. Just a moment. Yes. So up. So I measure here. It is in France. It is in France, this slide. So I measure here is the text in French. I made this in our interview the last time, but I cannot find in English. So the drop of water must be round, perfectly round, and must not be how you say delayed. It must not be open. So when we measure, there are many of drop that are not correct. This is not correctly. This is not. This not. This true. All right. These are not. These are eliminated. So we have a distance. All right. We have a distance. This is not correctly, for example. And when we put all the distance up, when you put all the distance, this is a diagram, we found that we have many drops of water. Some of drops of water made here 0.75 millimeters, 0.80, etc., etc. And the overage of this perfect drop of water, the overage, we have here an overage that will go. This is a curve of Gauss, and this the greatest number of drop of water came here, and that's we called here 1 centimeter. So I have here, for example, 40 drop of water that the distance of diameter is 0.70. All right. Yeah. And 60 drops of water that I measured are that we called 1 centimeter. 12 drops of water are 1.10. So slowly, times after times, we add the measure, and we have a distance of drop of water that come out, and this overage, the greatest number of overage is 1 centimeter. All right, and then 1 centimeter we will multiply by 10. Donc this distance. So I made 100 of measure. All right. Donc this is the first measure, first, second, fourth, third, fourth, and then I made over and over the measure. When we add this, and I stopped because I stopped to add here, but we can add here the measure even one years after or 5 years after. Every time we put the measure here, we will see that this overage grow up and grow up and grow up. All right, this overage of the drop of water in a this is a curve of Gauss. All right, that's we call today 1 centimeter, and then 1 centimeter, the distance, we will multiply by 10. We will have 10 decimeter. All right, and then we'll again multiply by 10. We will have 100 centimeter, that we call today 1 meter. Did I respond to the question?
Yeah, you did a fantastic job. I think that is so high value as a clarification, and it really does add a lot of principled meat, because it ties in also the question of how Gauss was helping people to look at the world in a way that was not based on the d'Alembert approach. It's a good contrast because there's two different methods. So I appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
All right. So I made 100 measure of drop of water, as you can see here. It's not important with what we make the measure. It's not important. As you see here, I made the measure with a recipient of yogurt. It must be clear. What you make the measure, you make with all you want. What is important is this. Just a moment. Is this. So I'll translate in English. The drop of water the water must be pure. It must be distillated. You will see, because at the first time I didn't make this with distilled water. I made the first drop of water of my life. I made with water of kitchen, right? But with the water must be distillated. It must be perfectly round, and the drop must not be. How say it in English? Dilaté. It must not be. It must not be. Wait a moment.
En français, c'est quoi le mot que vous voulez?
Dilaté.
Oh, diluted? Dilaté. C'est quoi ça? I don't know what that means.
Expand. Yes. So the drop of water must be around perfectly, and it must not be expand. That must be stay fixed. All right. And so when you make a drop of water that not expand, it's not important the time. You will see the time. It's not important. You will see that the drop of water will stay fixed. If the drop of water will expand, it's not good. So it's simple and complicated in the same time. All right. So and that's I made the overage of drop of water. And as I said, up, this is the front. And I discovered this in 28 June. So we understand now that this discovery is very important. The Egyptian discovered this. Of course, I understand now that nobody, no human in this planet and in in all the life cannot discover this, because it's a question of of measure. Even you don't know what to measure, right? What you want to measure. This is a problem that the Egyptian world confronted, and the great architect said, all right, you want to measure, I will show you the universal unit, and then you will start the civilization. And so the great architect God showed to the Egyptian how to find the universal unit. So we'll come now at the question of the proof. What is the proof? So everyone need a proof to accept this creator. Someone need a creator like a human, like animals. So everyone has need a proof, but the proof of one, it's not the proof for the other. This is the problem. And so in the past, many people said, "But I feel God, God exists." But you have the other that said, God, I'm going to tell you that about the God. I don't believe in his existence because we don't have the proof. All right, but the God will respond very well. You will need a supercomputer, at least 30 teraflops, to believe that I exist, and see you in 2019. All right. But in this time, nobody understands. This is a metaphor. All right. You understand that we will need a supercomputer to calculate the probability, and the probability can say to us that this creator exists or not exists. So there is a mathematician, astrophysician. It's called Hubert de Reeves. Here you have the video. Donc, so it's called Hubert de Reeves, and he speak about the great question. You have the link here below. Donc, Hubert Reeves is an astrophysicist, scientist, popularist, and ecologist of Quebec, and he said, "Science absolutely cannot tell us whether God exists or doesn't not exist." Then you have Stephen Hawking. So everyone knows Stephen Hawking. And the Stephen Hawking said that there is no God, no one created the universe, and no one direct our fate. I'll put this 2 minutes. It's in English.
Before the Big Bang. So there is no time for God to make the universe in.
So he said, there is no time for God to make the universe. So Stephen Hawking said that no God need times, need 1 second or 0.000 second to create something. This is a concept, a human concept, all right? So to create something, the human, we need a second. If we had no second, minutes, or hours, we cannot create something. And Stephen Hawking said that God need some times to create something, need some times to create the universe.
To make the universe in, for God to make the. So there is no time for God to make the universe in. It's like asking for directions to the edge of the earth. The earth is a sphere, it doesn't have an edge. So looking for it is a futile exercise.
We are each free to believe what we want. And it's my view that the simplest explanation is there is no God. No one created the universe, and no one directs our fate.
All right. So Stephen Hawkins, we'll see later that Stephen Hawkins, it was completely wrong. Uber Reeves, he said that I believe there is something. You can see the whole video. I believe there was something that there is something. Maybe this is God or something like this. But the science absolutely cannot tell if God exists or not. Yes, I said yes. The science now can tell us that God that God is he exists. All right, and he tell us with mathematics, and he tell us with probability, the top of the mathematics. Sometimes later, someone called Martin Luther King, he said something, we must learn to live together as brother, otherwise we'll die together like idiot. It's like something poetry, something like philosophy, and it's something, there is no science here. Everyone can say there is no science. It's an emotion. We'll see that there is not really emotion. So here we have something, we have many writers that have write about Black Egypt. We have Joseph Hunter Firmin in 18, we have James Blake, Martin Bernal, Delaney, Webb Dubois, 1920. We have Sheikh Anta Diop and Ivan Sertima. And we have Théophile Obenga, Charles Funkelet. Charles Funkelet, it doesn't spoke about the Black Egypt, but Charles Funkelet, he wasn't in this optic of Black Egypt, but he observed that the royal cubit is pi divided by 6, and there is a correlation about meter and the royal cubit. All right. What's the meter is there here in Egypt? What's this? What's happened? The meter here in Egypt. What's the problem? It's not normal that we found meter and mathematics applied in physics here in Egypt. What's going wrong? All right, and he was the first that exposed this correlation between royal cubit and the meter. And then I'll come with K 2019. All these authors are boycotted. all right, are boycotted by the media, by the mainstream media, by the scholar, all right, they are boycotted. And all we know about these authors, we know only in the internet. They are all boycotted. So we have here a problem. So you understand that everything will be matched. We'll go now at the second. So at did we have question for this moment, Matt?
I'm I'm enjoying this. I'd like to hear where you go, but if I would leave it open if other people have a question. I think Femi is open for a brief question or two. Any takers? No, no takers. So you can keep going for it.
All right. So for thousands of years of our
Wait,
civilization.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes. Just to be explicitly clear. So you're saying Professor Funk Helet, before him, nobody had made the connection of the metric system and the royal qubits. The royal qubit. That was never, nobody made that connection before him.
No.
Okay.
As I know, there is no other author that spoke about the correlation between royal qubit and the metric system. As I know, I discovered this I discovered maybe 2018 at the time when where I made the movie. I discovered maybe in the movie Revelation of Pyramid. I think so. No, as I know, no. Nobody spoke about this. The secret was kept very good.
Amazing. There's another question, I guess two sort of connected questions or comments. One dealing with the question, wouldn't this drop size be affected by gravity? And the other one being, how would this be affected by the moon and the effect that the moon has on water, which varies throughout the year? And are these factors at all that came into consideration, or?
So this is are not to consider. This is are not to be considered. The gravity, because all the unit, the gravity and atmospheric pressure, etc., becomes our unit are constructed over the meter. All right. I think that is it's a adjustment. It's adjustment. It's adjustment. How the drop of water. I cannot really explain how the drop of water show the overage show the 1 centimeter. But as I know, this is the universal, the matrix of the system. It's the root of the creation. The root of the creation.
The person who asked the question actually clarified that I'd misunderstood the observation where she was just simply asking, would it wouldn't work on other planets with different gravity, because right, so the meter would be, or the centimeter would be a different metric or a distance on, let's say, Mars or Venus, because of the way the water would form on Mars would
Yeah.
would be different, so they would have a different set of measurements, I suppose, on Mars.
So what about the centimeter in a planet like Saturn, for example? As you know, for water, we are three stage. The stage of air, in air, as an air, liquid, and solid. So we have, when the water become liquid, we have all the physic parameters, the atmosphere, the heat, the temperature that are interacted with together, and will be stabilizate the will stabilize the water. So I think it's the same things will happen, the same things in Jupiter or in other planets. It's the same things, but we cannot measure the centimeter in other planets, because we have to measure this in real in a real condition, all right, like in Earth. So if we measure the water like in Earth, in other planets, so we can say that this is universal unit. But the physics tell that we have glass and liquid in other planet. I think it's the same. It's the same measure everywhere. Everywhere in all universe, we have 1 centimeter everywhere. I think I respond.
Yep, that's good. Thank you.
So to understand how it's difficult to discover this, what is it, the difficulty? So, for example, if you want to find, you have to find a Nile. I made a movie. I made a movie in French, a nail, to find a nail. So I find a nail in a surface 40 centimeter by 40 in 5 seconds. All right, or in 10 seconds. So when you have to find a nail, you have here in the right the nail to find in a surface 1 meter by 1 meter. You need here 25 minutes. All right, 25 minutes. So to find the same nail in the surface of this, you have the France here. So you will find this after 4,050,056 years. All right. So the probability is 1 by 10,000 milliard. All right. To find a nail. And to find the same object in a surface of the France, so you need around 26 million of years. The probability is here 50,000 milliard. 50,000 milliard. So you have a chance to find a nail in a surface of the France. You have one chance to 55,000 milliard. So you need around 26 millions of years When you search 26 million of years, after 26 million of years, you will find this snail. And in the surface of the world, if we imagine that this surface of the world is entirely by field, we do not consider the ocean, etc. So you have a probability 1 by 1,000 million of milliard. You need around 7 billion 7 billion years to find this snail in this surface. So now, what's happened if the snail is transliquid, it's transparent, it's not a nail in iron, but it's a nail in glass, made with glass. All right. So the probability now, it doesn't not work. It's not like a glass, or it's something like a nail in water that change surface and shape every time. If this nail change shape every time, you'll not have no more chance. The chance doesn't exist. You cannot calculate no one chance, no probability. If you have to find a nail that has the shape of water, you cannot find. The probability does not work, because you cannot find a shape of water in the water. All right. And this is on what I was confronted. All right. This is on what I was confronted to find a universal unit. So me, like Fehmi, as a human, I can never find this. And this was the same that this great architect, great creator, great entity, God, they show to this black Egyptian, show how to find the universal unit. All right, to make the measurement of unit, to make the measurement of a drop of water, and to find the average of drop of water. And this was happened the same with me. So in 5 minutes, I understand all the physics of today. So we understand here that we are not alone. There is a great architect, there is a great God. In 5 minutes, they understand all the physics of today. 5 minutes. I never searched before of this. That's the story, but the story go more and more. Just a moment. Donc, this is okay. Tuk. So now, what I started with, I'll continue with this. So, what's happened with the creation? Did our question at this time, or I continue?
Well, I have a question. I have two.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're claiming basically is that the French in their archaeology in France found the meter, and then but what I learned is they claimed that they based the meter on being 1/10,000th the distance to the North Pole from the equator. So they were making up a reason, but really they got it from Egypt. That's my first question. My second question is, yeah, okay, they found the meter, but the question of the drop of water, the centimeter, I mean, that's your own conjecture. I mean, you didn't find evidence of drops of water in Egypt or vials that dropped drops of water. I mean, you just figured that here's this universal unit of 100 of which make a meter, so that must be what they based it on. That's the second question.
Sorry, I didn't not understand very well the first and the second. Sorry. Can you speak slowly, please?
Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
So the French were doing archaeology in Egypt, of course. And so they could have found the meter there, no problem.
Yeah.
But then my understanding is that they claimed that their basis for the meter is that it was 1/10,000th the distance from the equator to the North Pole, I think. So is that true?
So the meter was transmitted secretly since by Egyptian. They were the meter with the decimal system and all other signs was transmitted in was diffused all around the world, and this was transmitted to Greeks, to Romans, to all Europeans after. All right, so the problem, because with this we have constructed all the humanity, the city, buildings, and others. And the problems with this was kept secret since the discovered from Egyptian was transmitted secretly until in 1077 by the French. But I don't know if the French know the origin of the meter. This I don't know. But what I constate, what I understand, that the meter, it's not a discovery, a French discovery. I think it's just the story of meter based to the meridian of the Earth. It's just something story. Huh? It's just a story. It's not the true. It's not the truth. Because we cannot make exchange in meter from to us to meter, etc. It was a problem for the scientists at this time. Look at this, just a moment. So everything, the meter doesn't exist. Doesn't exist as a unit, as a standard that we can buy in the market. All right, today we can buy a meter in the market for $1, for example. And the science of this time cannot work with cannot make. They have very difficult to make science with other standard. I means the meter. It was, look at this, please. The meter was not public. All right. We have something like Pied du Roi or other standards, but all these standards came from the meter. All right. And this standards was like La Quinte. It's called La Quinte, something like this, and it is a standard. Just a moment. It's a standard up like this. So we have 100 centimeter divided by 3, and we have 3.33. This was a standard. The scientists of this time worked with this standard, 33.33 centimeters. There was another standard, the Royal Cubit, that we know. It's pi. It's pi divided by 6. and this is the standard of this time. So 42.36 centimeters, and this was a standard. And the meter, it was not public, and this is a problem for the physicist and chemistry. And the scientists need to work with meter directly. The scientists need to work with meter directly. All right. And that's, I think, was the origin of industrial explosion in 70, in the years 70. The industrial explosion is because the meter was now become public. So I don't know if the French know the origin, the revolution, the archaeologists know the origin of the meter of Egypt. I don't know this. But the second question, I hope I respond.
Yeah, you did. I mean, but I will mention again that the French were well known for doing a lot of archaeology in Egypt, so they could have found it there. But the other question was the drop of water thing about the centimeter. I mean, that's your own invention. I mean, you didn't find evidence in Egypt of drops of water. I mean, you just assumed they must have had some basis for their meter, and you found it. You found a good basis, so you're probably right. But I mean, you didn't have any direct evidence for using water drops, did you?
All right. What you mean directly evidence? What is for you directly evidence?
Well, I mean, like a hieroglyph of someone dropping water on a stone, for instance, would be evidence of how they discovered the meter. I mean, you don't have that kind of evidence, do you?
But even you find in hieroglyph someone making drops of water, you don't not believe.
Well,
You
do
don't
they? I mean,
believe.
did you find that?
Sorry.
I mean, does that exist? I mean, hieroglyphs with drops of water?
Yeah, it exists. It
Oh,
exists.
okay. I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Hieroglyphs. What? One moment. So there are hieroglyphs with Egyptian with water, putting water, working with water. There are many hieroglyphs, but there are no hieroglyphs. Someone putting, making drops of water. There are no documents of someone or documents or hieroglyphs that said you, dear human, now we will tell you how we make the centimeter. There are no document, as I know, there are no document of this kind of document. All right.
So it's your invention. Well done.
All right. There is no document that show you the drop of water is the meter. We document like we Egyptian, we make the meter like this with this formula. So we make a drop of water, we measure the overage, etc., etc. There is no document. There is no document, as I know. For why? Maybe they understood the importance of this discovery, and they keep this secret. They keep secret many things. The Egyptian keeps secret many things. All right.
Thank you.
They understood the importance of this, and they keep this secret. All right. But even the camera or if even the camera exists, it's not a proof. Even we exist at this time, it's not a proof. The only proof undisputable that we cannot debate or cannot discuss it's true or it's false, it's the measure. The measure are the only things that we cannot debate. We cannot debate. When you find something 1000 millimeters, so you have two solutions. First, all right, first, it's by chance. Second, it's a knowledge. There are only two probability, two-way. All right, two-way. By chance, 1,000 millimeter, or for 52 centimeter point 36 pi divided by 6. So is this by chance or this is a knowledge? And we make calculation in mathematics, the calculation of statistic and probability, and we arrived in the result that this is a knowledge and there is no by chance. Because in Egypt, you have nothing, in Egypt and all over the world, you have nothing that make 2 times 1,000 millimeters. You have nothing in this world. Even you measure all the things of this world, you have nothing. Second, you have nothing in Egypt and all over the world, a natural object that make 52.36 centimeters. You have nothing, no fruits, no tree, nor nothing in this planet. So where these 52.36 centimeters come? All right. So if anyone has other question? Sorry for my English, but I tried to do my best.
I would just add one thing, is that I think the important thing here that really blew my mind when I first encountered your proof, your demonstration many months ago, is that there is an officially recognized popular narrative describing the scientific proof of how the meter emerged, utilizing the French metric, the toise, and all of these things. And it doesn't work. It's impossible that the solution of the meter and centimeter, it's impossible that the officially recognized proof could have resulted in that solution. And I think that negative proof allows the mind to be free to hypothesize what more reasonable proof must have been available or used to demonstrate this discovery of the centimeter that was already known in ancient Egypt and used as the basis of so much of this ancient world. So I think that's just an important idea. There is an officially recognized standard proof that is false, and you could prove that it is impossible that the metric emerged from the French Revolution and the official model. So that's good that you brought this and you introduced this. And I think the other thing that's so important for people to hold in mind, that I don't know of anybody except yourself, Fehmi, who has brought this so clearly into clarity, is that all of the metrics we use, from voltage and amperes and Celsius, density, speed, are all derivable from a core unit of the metric. That's not something I've properly encountered in my life. So I think that's a highly valuable thing to hold on to too. All of these things that are at the heart of so many fields of science over the last 300 years emerged out of the metric system.
This is, you have one side, the mathematics, all right? And in mathematics, you have no unit. You have no unit. There are only numbers and equation. And the other side, you need to put this number in reality. But the problem was that the unit was every time variable. And now, for the first time, the Egyptians discovered a unit unvariable all over the time. And this is great. As I said, they cannot find by themselves. There is our creator, the creator of everything, that gave them this idea. And all the other units that will come from will be will be graduated to the meter. So up just a moment. So let's go at the second. So now the how at this time it's for many of public it looks like esotericism or poetry or philosophy. So at this moment, at the creation, donc this creator made the creation as we called Big Bang. So at the moment of the creation, he will create the mathematics, all right, and this mathematics will be incrusted in all the physics. So he has created something like this. All right, I'll show the. So this is the what I called regulator, and is this something like this? So I don't know what is this. It's maybe the mathematics. I don't know how it works in quantic or relativity, how it's integrated with physics. But this is since the creation. So since the creation of our universe, this is a regulator created by the great architect, and he regulates everything. He will transform, regulate, destroy. Everything must be perfect. All right, everything must be perfect, and all anomaly will be erased. And this is since the creation of the Big Bang. So for million of years, we have many of species. The programmation is locked. All right, for all the species, the programmation is locked. All right, we have around 30 million of species in this world, maybe 300 species, and for all these species, the programming is locked, as we called intelligence. So at this moment, and this moment of creation of after millions of thousands and milliards of years of creation and evolution, it seems that he was alone, and this creator thinks I share my creation with a species. All right. So now at first he will share with a species. He need to create the spirit, and he will create the spirit with conscience, freedom of express, a spirit, intelligence, freedom of thought, and he finally chose a species, this that we call today human, and all the programmation will be locked for other species, only for human will unlocked. And so human is start this his his way, it starts with intelligence from 1 or 0 equal with other spaces to 1. And so the human, for the second, the human cannot create. This is a privilege that it was locked for him. He cannot create, but he can transform, he can destroy, he can make everything, only the creation, only to create. So the human, the creation, it is forbidden, it is locked. So you have milliards of leaf of tree in the world, milliards of flower, milliards of grass, but no one can create a leaf. We can only transform it. All right, we can only transform it and destroy. All right, you have apple, you can make jam, or you can make a chair, but you cannot create even a simple leaf. And every time human is in front of choice. Donc there is a regulator, the regulator created, and there is the entity God creator architect, and the human has the choice. So he has the choice 0 or 1, like a choice, a binary choice. And everywhere in our life, we seems that we have 100 or 1,000 of choice. But when you analyze in detail, you understand that every time you have two choice, 0 or 1, it's binary, and then you passed to the next choice, and so go on and on. Every time you have choice after choice after choice, but in reality, it seems that we have 300 choice. In reality, it's not that. Mathematically, it's a choice 0 to 1. It's a binary choice. And up the next. So the human are free, but in a finite world. In a finite world. And he thinks, so I'll guide the human, I'll guide the spirit, and he's free of choice, is independent of the creator. So this is one of the most important. All this here is important, but the human spirit, it's free on his choice. And the human mind is like a god. It's a god with limited power. All right, you cannot, you are limited on physics, you cannot make, you cannot create. This is forbidden. And in case of refusal of the creator choice, the human will be faced to the regulator. A regulator, it's as I show you, is this. Maybe I don't know what is this. Maybe it's the mathematics. It's purely mathematics, and all the mathematic equation. This when I asked myself and him, why the world is not good, why the world it's no good as it have to be, how this works, and I had this image. So this image, the regulator, as I show you at the precedent, it's something like this. Maybe it's the mathematics. All right, and this regulate everything in physics, in chemistry, everywhere. And we are here. We are here like thousand milliards of gods. All right, we are here, milliards and millions of gods, like our God. But the only difference is that we cannot create like him. We have all the rest, but not create like him. So at this point, everything, it seems like poesy, like esotericism, everything you want. You will see that it's science, and very, very precisely science. So this is the pattern, the same pattern since the creation of the human, of the spirit mind, 30 or 40, maybe 50 years ago, when he decide he has the pleasure to share this creation with a species like us. Donc, how it works? Donc, we have the choice for everything, and we have the choice. We are in front of choice. We have the spirit, our spirit, and he works like the God, and the spirit make a choice. All right, it's the spirit is independent from the creator. And then we have in the other side, we have the creator that he will guide the humanity on his choice. The spirit is completely independent from the creator. And when we have the choice for something, when we make when we make the choice, the choice that we that is proposed from the creator, everything it's gone. It's very, it's everything go well. When we are in the spirit choice, we are here in the face. We are confronted with the regulator. All right, and this regulator will. It's something. This regulator is something like he has no feeling, he has no motion. It's not bad or good. It's something without motion. It's the perfection. It's something perfection. All right, and everything is regulated by these things. I think it's the mathematics. It looks like mathematics. And at this moment, the creator gave to humanity the conscience, the spirit, and the evolution can start. So the intelligence now, it's unlocked. He has intelligence. And to understand, we are here, we are all here, decor. We make part of this decor, of this landscape. All right, we are part of this landscape. And so here we go. And as you know, the history of humanity, as the humanity of all of his time, he make the question: does this God exist, or we are only alone? And this is all the evolution, human evolution. Sometimes it was the war, sometimes the peace, sometimes the war, sometimes the peace. It's like a Ouroboros. Someone maybe know this. So this is the snake that trapped his body, and Ouroboros. Uh, Wait, the serpent that trapped his tail, and this is the humanity. So we have only one choice, and peace, war, and peace, war. That is something that we think that we have one choice. The science cannot respond about the creator, about the God, all right, because there was no evidence or something like this. And up, just a moment. Check. We'll pass now at the next. Check. But in reality, we have two choices. So I explain quickly, very quickly, this part. Just a moment. So this is the project in 3D. At the beginning, I started to make the film with white Egyptian. All right. In 2015. This is a 3D person for the movie, and at the moment in my searching, I looked a video of someone who called Sheikh Anta Diop, and I buy his book, Negro Nation and Culture, and I read attentively his book of Sheikh Anta Diop, and he said that the Egyptian was black, was African, was black African. What the hell? What's happened? African, Egyptian, black African. All right. And later, I discover many other authors. Now we have to understand what's happened. So this creator make things to appear little by little. So there is a Fehmi. We have many authors in the timeline, all right? And every of these authors speak about Black Egypt, all right? You have to understand this, and it's important why the Egyptian has this idea to mummify the people. What's this idea? What is how it comes, this idea? What why? So 6,000 years before, so we are here in 4,000 BC. This creator said to this Egyptian, you have to mummify the people, to mummify. And this he asked him, he make a question. He doesn't know, this Egyptian doesn't know the God exists. He thinks, he feel something that the God exists, but he has no evidence that this God exists. However, he he said to the pharaoh and to the others, I have an idea to mummify. So we have to mummify the people. We have to mummify because I have an idea comme ça, because the God said me, because so it's an idea. All right. Well, you are the greatest priest. Let's mummify the people. Okay, why not? And this served to someone 6,000 years later. He called Sheikh Anta Diop to mummify the people, to mummify the body. And Sheikh Anta Diop, he 6,000 years later, you understand how he works? 6,000 years later, mummify. And this served to Sheikh Anta Diop to make analysis of melanocyte, all right? Inclusion of the melanocyte. And Sheikh Anta Diop make the analysis of melanocyte cell of the black skin. He make the analysis in the skin of the mummy, and in the skin of the mummy we can. This is a vulgarization of to understand how the skin it works. So this is the places then will be the melanocyte cell, all right, and this will make to protect the body from the heat. And here you have the melanocyte cell, the black melanocyte cell to protect. And this we can see in microscope. And this layer, it doesn't exist in the leucoderm of white people. It exists in reality. It is very, very, very. It's quasi. It's inexistent. All right, to be correctly in term of science. And this is very pronounced in the mummy. It exists in the mummy, and the Sheikh Anta Diop make analysis of around 200 mummy at the Museum of Musée de l'Homme à Paris, Museum of Men in Paris. And he understood that the mummy was black, was African. So we understand here how this creator works. The question is why the creator make this, etc. We have many questions here. It's a good creator or it's an evil creator. Why is this? And so we understand. It seems we know about historian and archaeologist that Egyptian, it was a tradition, a culture, spiritual, the mummification. But we understand that this mummification served to Sheikh Anta Diop to understand that this Egypt was in Black Egypt. And in 2000, I started the movie with White Egyptian. And then I was in front of this problem, what I have to do. A Black Egyptian that looks like African. What I have to do? If I make a movie with with black Egyptian, it will be a financial bankruptcy. All right. Is this the justice? I heard every time this voice tell me, yes and no, no, it's not a question of justice. Not really justice, not human justice, because we know that justice, the justice is not, it's not equal for all of us. Is this a question of intellectual honesty? Because I was in front of choice. What I have to do? Did I made the film with black Egyptian or with white Egyptian? What I have to do now? It's a question. So I didn't understand yet. I didn't have yet the proof of existence of this creator. I was someone who believed, who trust, but I need something true. I need a proof. You want to believe God exists, but you need a proof. All right. Someone has the proof. He becomes millionaire, or he found he play with game. He win $10 million. He said, yes, God exists. For these people, the God exists. All right. But for someone else, this is not a proof. And this is a question of intellectual honesty. No, because today, honestly, intellectual honesty, it doesn't mean something. Even the best honesty intellectual you can buy with, for example, $10 million, and you can buy honesty. It's not problem. It will have a success in Africa, maybe yes or maybe no. As I saw later, that many of Africans, they do not really care. They do not really care because they didn't have information of this work. They don't have information because it's a question of information, right? You cannot explain to explain things. You need times. You need media, and when you don't have time to explain, when the people doesn't have time to learn and to understand, they don't care. They don't understand nothing. So you can. So there, as I said, maybe not. A problem. So I saw there is, when you put this, when you create yes or no, what is good and why you have to do. Donc I put this in one side. There is no. It's not a film for justice. It's not really justice. It's not really intellectual honesty. Success in Africa, yes or no? You have to put many money. You spend times and money. Moral boycott, professional boycott. You maybe will see like a black sheep. So when you put this, all the future, all this side, it's not good. All right, it's not good. So you make the question why I have to do this. All the future, all the elements here said no, no, no. All right, do not make this film with Black Egyptian. All right, do not make this film with everything. It's no. When you analyze this, everything no. And this one voice, something tell me, this voice insist, you must do it in peace. My voice, the conscientious voice, something said me, you have to do this. All right, okay. And at this moment, I say, oh yeah, okay, let's continue. We'll see later. So I was in front of this choice. All right, I was here, the choice. My spirit said no. All right, spirit and reason say no, but this voice said yes. You have to do. This voice, I don't understand what is this voice, but spirit, logical, and all the analysis said no, no. All right, I decide to continue to hear this voice. All right, and in August 2017, I decide to change the path, to change the texture of the 3D, and so this is in August 2017, and this is the Egyptian, and so I put Black Egyptian. Let's go. Let's continue with Black Egyptian. We'll see later. I don't know where I'm going, but let's go. So here's the file. This is the original file. I have 100 files like this. So here is in Tuesday, August 2017, I decide to change the Egyptian on black. So, all right, I continue pyramid, construction of pyramid with Black Egyptian, and let's go on. All right. And so this was in August 2017, and in February 2018. So I was working, and I said, well, let's make a break. And for a moment, a moment of something like seconds, I see an image, a vision like this, a nature without human voice. Beautiful. It was beautiful. It was very idyllic. It was grateful. Something like this, right? I put this image. It was very, very beautiful, but I don't understand immediately this nature without human voice. I understand this later. All right, but all right, I see this nature beautiful, but I didn't like this very much. So it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't go for moments. And the things will change, the vision will change in few seconds later with another landscape, with another world or image. I was in another place with nature, with human voice. This was in nature. Now I heard the human voice, songs, laughter, and there, I was more comfortably. I liked this the second. All right, I didn't understand at the moment what what is this vision, what it means. It's completely nonsense. This two landscape, all right. I prefer the second. Yes, there it was beautiful. So two landscape, the first with human, without human voice, the second with human voice. The voice, as I tell you, I have understand later the difference between these two image. At first time, after maybe maybe 1 years after I understand the meaning of this, or 2 years later, 2 years later, because every time I make question, what this means, what this means, what this image means. And after maybe 1 years after I understand the difference, that at the first there was no human voices, and the second there was with human voices. So I didn't know it was like the pact. It was like a choice from me, and this was in February 2018, and the 28th June 2018. Donc the same things tell me, so make the drop of water, so you will understand all the physics and all what's happened in this world. And so 20 June 2018, I understand all the physics of this world, how it works. Never in my life I made a drop of water. Never in my life I was interested by kilogram, by royal cubit, by measure, by physics, by all this. Never in my life. All right, I made physics in my life, mathematics, but I am not diplomed in physics or mathematics. I have good, more and advanced basic knowledge, let's we say so, in physics and mathematics and chemistry, but I was never interested about this. And so I understand in 5 minutes, the 20 June 2018, in 5 minutes, all the physics, all how is created. And I understood one thinks that this is not by chance, but behind is this great creator of this universe. So for the mathematicians understand this very well. This is adjustment, the fine tuning of universe. If someone is physician or mathematics, he know very well this. So everything in this universe is regulated, in million of decimal number. All right, everything is just adjusted. It's that the physician and mathematician called fine tuning. There are all the mathematic and physics constants that are graduated, and they are graduated to million of millimeters. And if only, for example, this constants of Rydberg, for example, if this at the end, this constant, it's not 116, this constant is 159, for example, all the universe doesn't exist. All right? Or if this constant, the length of Bohr, the ray of Bohr, if the ray of Bohr, for example, it's not 903, it's 904, the universe doesn't exist. And this is called the fine tuning of universe. So you can you have the link, you can find this, and you can find this information in Wikipedia. And at this moment, this drop of water, all the universe will be adjusted. At this day, the temperature was 30, 35, very hot, etc. And first time of my life, I made a drop of water. It was heat. A voice you said, do this and make this. He said, all you have to do, and what's happened, all the universe will be adjusted at this moment to show me the drop of water 1 centimeter. The drop of water 1 centimeter. All the universe, the gravity, the pressure atmospheric, all the constants of universe will be adjusted in this moment to show me 1 centimeter. So I don't know more proof. You have all the proof here to show me the 1 centimeter. So I see here, I see the hand of God. So I see the hand of God. So the Huber Reeves, he said us the science cannot absolutely tell that God exists or not. So he was wrong. Yes, the science can tell us this, that this entity, God creator, exists, and he is manifested in the most intelligent way, mathematics and physics too, of course, because he showed me physically how the drop of water make 1 centimeter. And he always offer us the best choice. And Stephen Hawking, when he said there is no God, sorry, Stephen Hawking, but yes, he exists. He exists, and he's good. He's good. He always offer us the best choice. So I'll continue and 2 slides, and I take the question. In 2021, I said I saw there is boycott everywhere. Nobody was interested of my work, so I said I'll stop. Humans are not intelligent. There is no reason to continue. Let's let them in front of this of the hazard. Let's. I don't. They don't want to change. Let's. They're in. People are not interested of what I'm telling. Or revoir. And I was. I will. I would like to delete all the video, the movie. Stopped to speak, to delete all the movie on YouTube, all documents. But at this moment, after two days, I said the public, I stopped everything. But 1 or 2 days, maybe 3, or maybe 4, I don't remember, maybe 4, something like this. I don't remember. Maybe one day. I don't. It's matter of days. I review this. I review this the two image, the same moment, the human, the nature without human voice, and the other with human voice. I review this, what I have to do. All right, maybe I have to continue. And so I really started little by little, and I will explain further what this two image means, and little by little. So we, I'm producing a second movie, the 10th hieroglyph, the mother. It's called the mother. I will show broadcast this movie at 25 May, and this is will be another proof. It's one of the greatest discovery that black black human that African has made. This is one of the greatest discovery. So, did we have question, Matt, at this moment?
Is the formal presentation completed, or are you simply asking for a few questions before the end?
I have more, but we think maybe we made another next week, but because there are many information, uh, maybe someone have to understand to understand this, or because there are many information.
Yeah. I think if you're willing to, I mean our schedule for the coming Sundays, we have many, is mostly booked for about 5 or 6 weeks. But we could certainly do a follow-up to continue your formal sharing of your insights in a
Yeah.
future weekend if you'd like, maybe a Saturday or something if that works for you. But I feel like people might want to ask you some questions at this point. I know there's a few who have already, and it's been 3 hours, so maybe or it's actually 2.5 hours of official presentation. But would that be okay to just simply round it out for here and pick up a second segment in the coming weeks ahead?
Uh, mm, so wait a moment. Yeah, the next week.
It would be next Saturday if you wanted to do it next week.
So I have a live in 15 the next um, Friday, um, or maybe 22. What you said, 20 or 22?
22 is a Friday. It could be 23 if that's possible.
Yes, 23. It's all right for me.
Okay, so it's 23 in the same time.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah, because there are many. There are many subjects to explain, to understand how they are correlated together, how they are linked.
Yeah.
It's very
It's very, no, absolutely. I understand there's many moving parts to weave together. Okay, so let's do that. 23rd, we'll do that. And it's interesting because the day after this presentation on the 23rd, we will have um a presentation on the 5,000 year suppression of the dodecahedron as the basis of also these same constructions within the Great Pyramid and celestial like spherics by Chuck Stevens, which will also introduce the pentagram of Mirificum, and that also has a new an important introduction to the golden section, which is tied to now your discoveries of the metric system as well. So I think that that'll be a very nice two-part presentation next or on that weekend. So great. Thank you so much for sharing this. Oh, let's go for some questions. I noticed that in the chat box there was a thought or a question from Stephen Doyle that I noticed first. So Stephen, if you're still there, would you like to share your thought or your questions?
I am. Thanks, Matt. I'm in a public place. Can you just confirm that the background noise is not too loud at my end?
We hear no background noise. It's fine.
Fantastic. Okay. Fehmi, thank you so much for a beautiful lecture. And you really hit on some subjects that have been of interest to me for a number of years. So I just absolutely loved it. And I'm so grateful for you for doing this. And I actually have an idea for a follow-on lecture, which I think will be some months down the road if Matt and Cynthia are interested. So I share your belief that mathematics is a vehicle to get closer to our creator and see the mind of our creator and to actually learn to speak the language of creation, if I can describe it as that. And the metrology part of it is very important. So my questions kind of relate to where my thoughts are going to my response lecture, if I can call it that. How familiar are you with the work of Professor Alexander Thom and the megalithic yard, or astrophysicist Thomas Brophy and the megalithic ruins at Nabta Playa? And it sounds like it's not related, but I think it is. And I'm just wondering if you're familiar with those works, because I would seek to incorporate those in a response lecture or discussion.
Yes, I know the works of Alexander Thom, but he speak about a standard, a measure standard, megalithic yard, but there is no evidence. I didn't not found yet how this standard. This is a standard about 84 centimeters, right? Did you read this, the unit standard, Alexander Thom?
I found some obscure works that argue that just like the meter is defined as the 1/10,000th of the polar to Paris distance, or whatever it is, that the megalithic yard is actually a geodetic unit. And I found some authors' works who tie it into both the metric system and as the basis of the explanation for the English system of measure. And it also gets into Sumerian units of measure and Egyptian cubits. So it could be that there's a unification that exists that not everyone's aware of. So I just wanted to see how familiar you were with this, as opposed to discussing it and monopolizing things now. I thought I would work on giving a companion presentation to kind of build on your work, which I think is just magnificent. That's kind of the base where I'm coming from. But also with Nabta Playa, there's a megalithic ruin site about 2 days drive outside of Cairo in the desert. And there's some very profound things that have been analyzed there, depending on who you're willing to entertain. So I think that might be of interest. We could bring it in too. But I was just wondering if you were familiar with Dr. Brophy's work on that site. And
so about the megalithic yard, I didn't found how they proceed. For example, the inch, the imperial unit, it comes from 8 divided by pi, and then that is graduated to the meter, 2.54 centimeter. But the megalithic yards, I didn't find. I'm searching, but I didn't found something where this come. As the discovery of Alexander Thomas. How I didn't find anything that correlate with the mathematics.
Okay, so I've found some author's work, and I won't belabor it here because it'll take a bit of time, but I can give that to you via Matt offline, or I can build a lecture too to sort of see if I can incorporate that with your thinking. I was just checking, but I just want to say thank you so much for a beautiful lecture, and I just love where you went with it and the insights you had and your intuition that via this avenue of exploration, we can get closer to the creator and get greater insights. I thought it was fantastic. So I just wanted to say thank you personally for a wonderful update. So enjoyed it.
Thank you. I'm so sorry for my English. I cannot speak like French, you know, because I'm not here in English speaker country. We speak only French. I read some books, some lecture in English, and it's difficult for me to speak. These are things very complicated, you know. We are talking mathematics and many things very complicated. It's very difficult for me, but I'm sorry. I try to be as clear as possible.
No, I think yeah, merci infiniment.
Thank you.
On this question too, for the 10th hieroglyph, I suppose this will be released on May 8th. Will this also be in English as well, or is that going to take more time for the translation?
For the translation, no, the translation will be very quickly. It's only the voiceover in English, but I try to find a solution. I think will be broadcast very quickly in YouTube too. This the 10 hieroglyph. This is it's very this is you'll go tomorrow after watching this movie. You will go out from you will everywhere you go, everywhere you will see this discover. This will change completely your mind. You will say, yes, this is from this is from Egypt. This is from Egypt. Yeah, this is blow really your mind. This is, as I said in the title, the mother. So there is the father. So there is the father and is the mother. All both they made the humanity. It's a metaphor, you understand? But it's a great discovery. It's the mother. It's the mother.
Cool.
To make a child, you need a mother or a father. You need both mother and father, and so this is the mother. But you will see.
Looking forward to it. So Magdalena, and then we have Ben and Dave. Magdalena, will you like to pose your question?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. So you mentioned different architectural buildings, and you mentioned even the one over in South America. And I was wondering, since your hypothesis is that they're used to say measurements, meaning the water drop, how did they in South America came up with that measurement, or how did the news of this measurement travel? What is your hypothesis on that? Because you also said that it was a very well kept secret. So I was curious in how the news of this measurement would end up in as far away a place as South America.
Yeah. So, um, so it's not an idea, because we found here it's proved that the system metrics come the system metrics, the same meter of Egypt comes here in South America, but they came from island from island Canary. They came in center of America, in Mesoamerica, and as I tell too in my book, they came with the Alize, with the Gulf Stream, and there was no only 10 or 100 people. There was 100,000 of Africans, Egyptian and Africans, that uh, passed the Atlantic and came in Mesoamerica, in Central America. And this thousand of Africans, this is not only for 5 or 10 years. This was happened for hundreds and hundreds of years. Can you imagine? So when you look your life or our life, you'll remember of your grandmother or your grandfather, and the lapse of time, the segment of time, it's around 80 years, or maybe 19 years, or 100 years of 3 generations. So they have traveled for hundreds and hundreds of years. All right, for hundreds of years. They came for thousands of years, since maybe 20,000 before Christ, till 100 or 200 for I speak for the Indian. So they traveled for hundreds and hundreds of years. They traveled the ocean. They came in Mesoamerica, in Central America, with the knowledge. So they came with the knowledge in the Central America, with metric system, with all this knowledge, the system metric. They constructed here with the local population, they constructed the pyramid. So it's not only a time of 10 or 100 years, it's a long time, for hundreds of thousands of years. And then I think there was at this moment the fall of Maya. It's caused by maybe by cataclysmic maybe an asteroid, or maybe something like this, that erased the great part of population, the great part, because we see in 40 or 30 years, in 40, 30 years, all the population of Mesoamerica stopped to construct pyramid and other, etc. Everything is stopped in a period of time of 30 or 40 years. So marine archaeologists said to you, it's maybe because of climatic condition, because of dry. The climate becomes very dry. So it's not correct, because you are in the tropic. And there are many vegetation there. You are in a tropic line. It's impossible to be dry. If there was dry time in Guatemala, in Central America, the rest of the world, it was 100 more dry. The rest of the world, if in tropic, you have the line of tropic, in tropic or in equator, it's dry. I cannot imagine what's happened with the rest of the world. It's the rest of the world is desert, is like Sahara. It's impossible. So I think it's probably the Maya, the fall of Maya. It's caused by maybe an steroid, maybe a powerful tsunami, something like this that erased all the population, and we see that all the population left the center of America, and they will be installed in the higher level, and then the African came down along the South America till in Teotihuacan, till in Bolivia, Tiwanaku, etc. So it's not an hypothesis, it's proved, it's mathematics. We see there golden number in Cusco. We see golden number. We see the metric system. We see the same geometry like in Egypt. It's mathematics. You don't need any proof. You don't need more proof like something document or video. Even if you have video of the time, it's you cannot. It's not powerful than the measure. The measure are the most powerful, the most undisputable document of the proof. The measure.
And your documentary K19 showcases it in the last hour when you go through the overview of all of the American pyramids and structures, and you document it and showcase it visually perfectly, that these proportions, these metrics are found throughout. It's fantastic, and yeah, that's not something that can be erased. So really good.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy
Thank you.
because it shows what shall I say? Okay, how human ingenuity is playing a huge role in all of this, obviously.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I would add, based on what you're saying, Magdalena, what you've done for Africa, because I mean, Africa has been so abused by colonial powers who have sought to erase this memory. But the same thing could be done for Native Americans as well, who have suffered as well under so much abuse and manipulation to sever them from their ancient historic heritage. And a lot of the natives of Canada, of the United States, of the Latin American countries have all been convinced, or most of them have, that there is no connection between the great civilizations of the deep past, of the Olmecs, and they've been told, no, you are naturally against technology. Your civilization is more savage by nature, more pure, and not for technology. But it's a lie. It's these are these are people who come from these great, wonderful civilizations of the past, and they should recapture that heritage once more. So I think what you've done for the Africans, the African population, especially Black Africa, with the help of people like Shikanta Diop and so many others, could also be done for the people of the Americas as well. I think that's a documentary that also needs to be created at some point soon.
Absolutely.
For example, to understand the document, what is document, what is a proof. So you need every human need of water. You need to drink water, to use water for cooking, etc., etc. All right. So when you drink water or when you cook water with water, you don't make a movie. You don't make a document, today I drink 1 liter of water. All right? But this is the first time, the first it's number one. You need water for life. All right? The second, you don't make a movie drinking or cooking water. All right? This is the second. Or you don't make document. But you have the third, all right? You have the third stage that the stage that you have the water meter that tell you, that you have consumed water. This is mathematic. And you have to pay at the end of the month $100, for example. All right? So the stage one, you need water, you drink water. The stage two, you don't have document of consuming water. You don't have movie, you don't have document, but you have the third document, the water meter, in the front of your house, that it show you have consumed water. All right. So when someone tell you you don't drink water, you don't live with water, it's not impossible. It's not impossible because you consumed water. There, it is the water meter that tell you that you have consumed water. All right, even you don't have proof for the second stage. Right. So there are no document like Egyptian came here or African came here in Central America or in South America. There is no document like this. But you have the third, you have the mathematic, you have like the water meter, you have the third, the mathematics that tell you they came here. They came here. It's not possible. There is no chance that the meter can be discovered by local population here. There is no chance. It doesn't exist. So this is that the meter, the proof that mathematically the meter came here by the Egyptian, by the African. And in a long, long period, for hundreds and thousands of years, they changed, they came, they traveled all the world. They diffuse this knowledge in Sumer. All the science, the Sumer science, it's come from Egypt. From Egypt. It's not the inverse. It's not that the Sumer discovered by themselves. Even the Sumer, we tell that the Sumer are black-headed. Sumer, translated, it means blackhead. Blackhead, it means Sumer means blackhead. So the Sumerian, it's African that came in Sumer, and it came here in Sumer with all the unit, all the science, the mathematics, etc. They traveled then in India. They brought their mathematics and all the science, chemistry, etc.
Yeah, we have to rethink a lot. Interesting. All right, so we have time for a couple more questions. So let's do, I know if Dave and Ben are still there, let's do Dave and then Ben. Dave, I know, Dave, you've been writing a lot of questions. A lot of them are really good. And I'm just curious if you could just pick one of your many thoughts to share at this moment.
Okay. Thanks, Fehmi. The one question then is about the Recot structure. I don't think that was in the documentary. Are you familiar with that? That's in West Africa. There's many people saying that that is the Atlantis. It's a natural formation that's made from some earth pushing upwards, and it created some rings. And tens of thousands of years ago, that would have been filled with water. So it would have been islands, and it would have fulfilled the definition. It would have been in the right location. You go through the gates of Hercules or whatever it's called. I forget which one it was. And you would just make a left basically and go south, and you would be able to go into Atlantis, which would be in Africa, in the land. But I don't know if you want to look into that or if there's anything you have to say about that. I might have gone too fast there. I'm sorry I didn't speak more slowly and clearly. I'm sorry I forgot.
No problem. But the legend of Atlantis, as you know, it come by Plato, etc. So it's legend. It's legend. It's not important what about who was the Atlantis. Some documents said this. It was in West Africa. There is a place in shape of Atlantis in south of Morocco, and some theories say that Atlantis was in Sumer. Some other theory that the Atlantis it was in central of America. This is not very important. Where is Atlantis and what is Atlantis? All right, it's not very important. Maybe one day we will find something more detail or something of archaeological found. It's not important, Atlantis. What is important, it's the story of 3 million of black, that it was erased. This is the most important, as I think, So the most important is what we do now. Did what Fehmi is telling it's true, or Fehmi is telling us nonsense? What I have to do? Is this the real story of 3 of the black African, or I'm telling something nonsense? We are here in front of choice of importance of things. What is the most important?
Thank
All right.
you.
So it's good. It's good. It's interesting to understand the history, to find, to search the legend, etc. But the most important, I think, it's the story, the real things to develop, to what I'm talking. Did it's real, or I'm talking what is, or is no sense? That's the question. All right, and the problem is that mainstream media, there is no journalist or scientific that comes to me. Let's go, Fehmi. We study this. So,
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
cool. Ben Johnson, are you still there? Ben. Ben, or I saw that you had written some questions, but I guess maybe you're having trouble with your microphone. Let me just roll up to see if you wrote down your question. Ben wrote earlier on here, I found it. In the K-19 video, it noted that during the 3 flood months on their yearly calendar, the Egyptians would observe and analyze many things. I don't think it is a stretch that they would analyze water droplets during rainstorms if their society is noted on observation and analyzing many things during their down period from work, that is the flood season, especially noted in the Book of Formation, where it is said that God created the world with 3 forms of expression: numbers, letters, and words, which all apply to the sacred math behind sacred geometry, numerology, and gematria. Would you like to speak to that observation, Femi?
What's the question? I don't
I guess
understand.
I didn't really see a question. As I read it, I realized it's more of him contributing his own a thought more than a question, which is, I guess, just sort of supporting what you pointed out in your video. So, thank you, Ben, for sharing that. Let's see. We've got a word here from Kelly. Says, "Thank you, Femi, for the unique perspective on these age-old matters. Looking forward to your future presentations." Thank you, Kelly.
Thank
Specie says, "One of the greatest problems in the West is that most people are unwilling to do the work to learn. They have to be spoon-fed tiny bits of rote from a glossy talking head with the same accent as themselves." That is a true observation, Specie, something we are hoping to cure. And I think, Femi, you've done a very good job at awakening a hunger for seeking knowledge on our own terms, using our own thinking. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think that's pretty much, yeah, I think we've hit the end of our questions in the chat box. So you've given us a lot to think about, a lot of homework to do to really internalize these ideas that are so important. We will have this uploaded with some links to your website to purchase your books as well. I believe you finished your translation project, right? Or is that still underway?
The translation of the book? No. I'm waiting for some financement.
Okay. Okay. So if people are listening and they would like to help out with a donation, they can go to the website in the description box towards helping the financing for the translation projects. A lot of Femi's work that needs to be more broadly accessible to people of other languages. So you can do that. Again, description box. Also watch the video K19. That link is also in the description box. Femi, thank you so much. And I have you booked for the 23rd which is a Saturday, in the early afternoon. And we look forward to continuing this journey with you, Ben. So thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for coming today.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Femi.
Thank you.